I'm very protective of what people call the strawberry generation, okay? Because I don't think they're all whiny. I don't think they're all irresponsible, but I think that maybe they've grown up in a very unfortunate time when things come a bit too easy. So it's not their fault, but they kind of expect it to be that way, okay? So a lot of young chefs that come to me leave after 2 months saying, "Oh, I learned everything already. I learned all your recipes already. I'm moving on," you know. Or a lot of them have come through. The ones that don't stay leave very fast, and the reason being, "Oh, I stopped learning already," you know. My reply to them is, look, when you're in school, which you just graduated from, when you're in school, you pay to learn. So it's okay for you to expect an education. It's okay for you to expect to go into class every day at 8 a.m. and expect to do something new every day and be taught something new because you are fucking paying school fees. But when you're in the industry and you're working, how can you expect to be paid and yet for your boss to every day, "Oh, here's something new for you to do," or "Here's a new ingredient for you to work with," right? Here is a new experience for you. "Oh, I'm sending you to Copenhagen tomorrow." You know, how do you expect to be paid and get all of that? You know, but a lot of them think that way. They think that the moment I stop learning in one place, I move on. So they job hop every 6 months, and it looks like shit on the resume. It looks like shit. I've seen people like I got a lot of resumes in recently because we're going on a recruitment drive for Bird.
Yep.
And I've got this guy who's like spent 3 months in every place that he's worked at, and we're not even going to call him for an interview because he spent 3 months everywhere. And he's probably got the same mentality that, look, I want to go to a job where my superiors will teach me something different every day. And the moment I stop learning, I'm going to stop working. Well, fuck you. Okay, then if you want me to do that, then you pay me to work here lah. Why should I be paying you? You work in an organization, you take a salary, you contribute. You don't expect an education to be handed to you on a silver platter. You want to learn, can. You want to learn from your colleagues. You come earlier to work, you stay later. You ask me questions. You know, you learn in your own ways. But you don't expect to be fucking hand-fed in education. Yeah. So that's my response to you when you ask about people being in a rush for growth, people being in a rush for development, people wanting to be head chef after 2 years. That's my answer to you. You can't. You know, if you want to do that, okay lah. You probably end up in a little cafe or a restaurant that's not going to work out anyway.
It's easier for us, I think, to find the answer when we're adult. I think when you're 18, it's like you're 18 only lah. You know, like you don't have to worry too much if you don't have the great passion of your life. Sometimes if your life was very comfortable, or if you're just the sort that didn't have to think too hard about what stakes you're willing to live your life for, then you could not know that answer until somewhere further down the road, and that's fine. But for us as adults, I think especially when you are in your 20s, your 20s is your time to explore and figure out what is the thing that you are going to stake your territory in or stake your life on by the time you get to your 30s or 40s. Because after that, so I tend to think of my life in decades, right? So 20s is the time to just muck about and make your mistakes, switch your career, and it's a time of discovery, right? But you should be able to discover a lot more of your answers by the time you're in your 30s. Because in your 30s, you should be solidifying some of your choices already. Like, I'm very clear, that's not what I want, this is more of what I want, and I'm going to start to build. By your mid-30s, I think you should be making some concrete choices already.
Right. So actually, what you just said, it's probably the first step you should take in terms of this 加减乘除, right?
But contrary, it is actually the most difficult. And it is least done among many people. Why? Because there are friends who have been with you for some time. You do not know that they actually are hurting you, or they are actually negative influence. You may not know it because you like the person or you think that person is great, but that person may really not be a sincere friend. Or that person may develop and become different in the way they think and do things. They're actually taking away your effort. So you really should say goodbye. Not say forever, but to put him at bay so that you can come out and be yourself. It could very well be your father, mother, brothers, boyfriend, husband, and good friends, you know, because they are so close to you, and what they say is so important to you, but what they do can also be restraining the possibility of you blossoming in that direction. Like if my brother hadn't said no to me on nursing, I maybe could be the best Florence Nightingale. But then all that I have now would have been so different, right? Yep. So it's a mood question too. But every time a door closes, another door opens. And why it opens? Because you opened it. If someone opens it, you walk through it. Too often, we don't eliminate, and then when we eliminate, we get depressed because we don't go and find another door. And then when the door is open, we may not walk through it because we're too lazy or we're too scared. So we don't seize the opportunity. So many reasons for journeys, you know.
And I think you brought up a very important point too. I think I've gone through my journey of elimination just by accident. Because
how many are like of the people in Singapore, they don't feel complete? You know, they feel like they are good at something or they're doing something, but then there's undiscovered area within them that they don't really know yet. You know, I think that happened to me when I was doing just music, beatboxing, music, beatboxing, whole time like this. Okay. But the other side, I don't know what's going on. Like, it was just, I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know when to speak at the right time. I didn't know what's right or wrong. Like, you know, I was like kid, like little boy, don't know what's going on. Even now I'm still, but now I'm like controlled, you know. And I'm like, yeah, controlled a bit better. Okay. Still learning. Yeah. So it's like beatboxing the whole time. And I thought like, oh, I'm so good at beatboxing. I'm just beatboxing my way through life. It's okay. I can do whatever. As long as I'm good at beatboxing, people see my beatboxing is good, I'm good.
Actually,
doesn't work.
You brought out a point whereby, like, as a musician, you tend to get lost.
what is the worst advice you see or hear being dispensed in your circle?
Find yourself. I hate that one. Because finding yourself suggests that there is a self that you can find. But actually, each of us is a self that is always in process of becoming. Right? We're always changing, we're always evolving, we are learning, we're growing. And so find yourself doesn't strike me as a particularly useful thing because, you know, the self I find today and the self I find tomorrow might be very different.
Yeah, and also that's really good because you're coming back to your point of the internal versus external locus of control, you know. Yeah. Crafting yourself is more internal locus of control to look at things versus finding yourself is externally.
That's right. That there is something out.